Good morning. Today we're going to have a quick look at the content of the new A-Level Maths syllabus. For the 2017 onwards courses, the syllabus is the same for the three main boards. The ordering and labelling is slightly different, but the text is almost identical. I'm not going to go through everything here, but I'll try to pick out the key changes. I've also put together a table showing the main changes by topic and board. There's a link below. Looking at the pure content, the first topic on the new syllabus is entirely new across all boards: proof. While we've had to do some proofs before, it was never part of an explicit topic. We need to cover proof by deduction, by exhaustion, disproof by counterexample, and proof by contradiction. Specifically, we need to know how to prove the square root of 2 is irrational, and that there are an infinite number of primes. There isn't much new in algebra and functions. The one thing to look out for is on inequalities. Now we need to be familiar with set notation, previously just on AQA, and be able to draw graphs of inequalities, such as on the old D1 modules. As with all the topics, there's a new section at the end on modelling, looking at how we can use maths to model situations and understanding the limits of those models. Coordinate geometry is mostly unchanged, but again with a new topic on modelling, this time particularly using parametric equations. On sequences and series, we now need to be familiar with recurrence and periodic sequences, not explicitly on all of the old courses. Trigonometry has some new content across all the boards. We need to be able to use and know the small angle approximations for sine, cosine, and tan. We'll be using them in differentiation. We also need to be familiar with the geometric proofs of the sine, cos, and tan addition formulae, and we also need to look out for the ambiguous case of the sine rule, which wasn't explicitly mentioned in all of the old courses. There's an addition to exponentials and logarithms. New for all boards, we need to plot log graphs to estimate power relationships. Differentiation is one of the biggest changes. We have to be able to differentiate simple power functions and sine and cosine from first principles, using small angle approximations for sine and cos, and using maybe the binomial expansion or just ordinary expansion for differentiation. There's more on second derivatives, including identifying where functions are concave or convex, finding points of inflection, and new for some of the courses, determining whether functions are increasing or decreasing. Integration is being expanded to cover integration between parametric curves. Previously it was only between Cartesian curves. We also need to understand integration as a limit of an infinite sum of infinitesimals, something not explicit in the old courses but hinted at through things like the trapezium rule. Also new is integration using a substitution where we need to find the substitution, where we won't be given it. There's more emphasis on numerical methods, with references to the limits of the sign change method for locating roots when it's going to fail, explicit references to cobweb and staircase diagrams for iterative methods, the Newton-Raphson method including its limits, and other recurrence relations for solving problems numerically. To make room for all of this, the remainder theorem is gone, as are the scalar product, vector equation of a line and all related to that, and volumes of revolution. AQA has lost the mid-ordinate and Simpson's rule, OCR has lost dividing by quadratic polynomials, and there are a few other things scattered around that are gone. Moving on to mechanics, talking of things that are gone, impulse and momentum are both gone. However, moments are now in all the boards. Previously they were just in Edexcel, and will include moment questions with non-parallel forces, things like ladders resting up against walls and that sort of stuff. All boards are now expanding the work on kinematics and forces to 2 dimensions using vectors. This is mainly a change for OCR, which didn't have much 2-dimensional stuff on it before. And there may be some more stuff on projectiles and motion under gravity. Statistics has also seen some big changes. There's much more of a focus on discussing data presentation and collection, including cleaning data and critiquing it. This may tie in with use of the large data sets, which we now have to be familiar with. Each exam board has chosen their own bundle of data. The binomial distribution is now on all courses, as is the normal approximation to the binomial distribution. With normal distributions and with other distributions, we're now expected to look things up using calculators rather than using tables. We're also expected to know more about the normal distribution, including how it links in with histograms and where its points of inflection are. Statistical hypothesis testing is also on all courses now, down from S2, using binomial distributions, normal distributions, and using given p-values for correlation coefficients. However, this is replacing the calculation of regression lines and correlation coefficients using formulae. Now we can just put them into a calculator, or we'll be given things and can look up critical values on a table. Stem and leaf diagrams are gone from Edexcel, and residuals are gone from AQA, along with a few other topics. As noted before, I have put together a table listing the topic reference numbers for the new syllabus, and by each board, and where the content was on the old modules for each board. There are also some notes on the major changes, the new things, and what's gone. You can find a link to that below. Any questions, comments, or corrections, please let me know, and I will do what I can to answer and/or fix them.